guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing Merida from Brave. Just like all of the other princesses that I've done, I'm going to be doing the glam version first and then going in and goring her up. So because Merida has kind of crazy hair, I braided my hair the night before and I slept in them just so they'd be a little bit more voluminous. Okay, so I just realized that my camera wasn't recording when I did all of this. So basically I just filled in my brows and then put a little bit orange shadow in them to make them look a little bit more like my hair color. So I used this color right here to just go in my brows, and then for the crease area of my eye I went in with this lighter orange shade, and then I used that same color that I put in my brows and I put that in the very crease of that. For the teal, I just used the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and I used a mixture of that teal and the light blue to kind of lighten up the inner corner. And that's pretty much it. That's all I did for my eyes. Added a wing and then coated my lashes. My face, I did the way that I would normally do my face, just a little bit of contour, foundation, and then I added some freckles using the same color that I put into my brows. That's the Morphe 15H palette. I also used some of the Iconic London Brow Duo to put the freckles on, and I just used a little dotting tool and I just dotted those on, just on my cheeks and a little on my nose. And then for my lips, I went in and filled it in with e.l.f. Touch of Nude lipstick, and then I just took my braids out. Now I am going to go back to the voiceover and do the rest of my body paint. Okay, so going in, I'm of course going in with a brow pencil and just sketching in all of her dress and where I want the basic outline to be. Then before I go in with body paint, I'm just going to go in and put in all of the shading around my dress. So I'm going in with this dark brown eyeshadow on a fluffy brush and just taking that right up against where I want my dress to be. And I'm not being too perfect about this because I'm going to be going in with body paint afterwards and just covering up any spot that I've gone across the line. So I'm just using that fluffy brush and blending that shadow out. And then on a smaller brush, I'm going to take that same color shadow. I'm going to go as close to the line as I can and just darken up the very edge where the dress meets skin. And then once I have all of the basic shading done, I'm going to go in with my Morphe body painting palette, and I'm going to go in with this dark green body paint right here, and I'm just going to fill in pretty much the entire dress, just leaving a space between the green and where I did that shading because I'm going to add a gold trim afterwards. And I'm not making sure this green is too opaque. I'm going to be going over it with a teal body paint afterwards. Once I have that all done, I'm also going to take this same green color onto one of my hands and go down my arm just a little bit because I knew I wanted to be holding a bow. I was trying to figure out how her dress was, and then I realized this was a little bit more like Hocus Pocus style. So I go in afterwards and I fix that, but I'm going in with a Global Body Art teal body paint, and I'm just putting that all over all of the green that I just laid down, just to kind of mix those two colors together. And then the thing I like about water activated body paints is that you can just take a baby wipe and just wipe it away, and it, for the most part, comes off. So I just fixed the sleeve, and then I'm going in with this shimmery green eyeshadow from XNO Cosmetics Sunset Sky palette, and I'm just taking that onto a very large brush and just applying that all over the dress. And then to create the darker shaded area around the dress, I'm going in with the Zodiac Love Signs palette from BH Cosmetics and using this very dark green matte eyeshadow and just blending that along the edge of where I put that green body paint. Using that same shadow, I'm just going to fill in the very center area, and then going in with the Morphe body painting palette again, I'm going in with the gold body paint and I'm just applying that to the trim. I'm also going to take a baby wipe and kind of wipe away where I want the laced up area on my sleeve to be, and I'm going to be filling in the area on my sleeve as well as the area on my chest. And then because some of my shading got wiped away when I applied that gold body paint, I'm going back in with that same dark brown eyeshadow and just shading in along the edge of the dress. I'm also going to be taking that same shadow and going under all of the areas on that laced up section in the middle, and that's it. Okay, and to start the gored up version of Merida, I'm just going to start by covering one of my brows. I'm just using an Elmer's glue stick and just heavily coating one of my brows and then waiting for that to dry. I've already made an eye prosthetic. I used my life cast for this, but you could do it right on a baking sheet. And then to make the arrow, I cut up a chopstick and used some foam paper and just hot glued those onto the ends. So once that glue is tacky, I'm going to go in with my liquid latex and I'm just going to use my finger and I'll apply it around my eye, being very careful if you do this, just not to get it too close to your eye, and just be very careful of your lashes. So I'm just applying that around my eye. I'm also going to take that latex and put a little bit onto the actual prosthetic. Let those get a little bit tacky and then they'll stick right to each other real nicely. So then I'm just pushing that onto my eye, and then I'm going to take some latex on my finger and just go around the edges just to blend it out a little bit better. And then to apply the arrow onto my chest, I'm just taking a cotton ball, pulling it apart, and just applying that to some latex that I applied where I want the other arrow to go. And I'm going to put some of the cotton ball on the end of that arrow and then stick the two together. And then because I didn't have enough hands, I'm having my son hold it so that I can wrap it with cotton and latex. And then once this is done, you're just waiting for it to dry. And waiting. And waiting.
One eternity later.
Once you've waited forever, I'm going in with the cream contour palette and using my finger and just applying a darker than my skin tone over that area. After that's done, I'm going to go in with an actual foundation and I'm just going to blend those two things together just to kind of make it a seamless transition from one to the other. And then because I wanted this to be extremely gory, I'm going in with a dark red body paint from Global Body Art. And I'm just going to apply that around the very edge of where the arrow is. And then I'm also going to be taking it onto my finger and kind of blending out those edges so that it fades out. So it's darker near the arrow and then fades as it gets out towards the other parts of my face. I'm also going to be using this black eyeshadow just to deepen up that very center of where that arrow is. I'm going to do the same thing to the arrow on my chest as well. And then finally, once that's all done, I'm just going to go in with some fake blood and apply that basically all over everything. So I'm just dripping that down, starting where the arrow is, and then just dripping it out. I'm also going to be putting it around the edges, anywhere that it didn't make a seamless transition from the latex to my skin. I'm just covering up those areas with fake blood. Fake blood is basically a fix-all. You can cover up pretty much any mess up with some fake blood. And then to make myself look a little bit more distressed, I'm just going in with some extremely watered down black body paint and dripping it down like I'd been crying, and then going in with that same brush and just some water on the brush. I'm just going to kind of drip that black down my face. And then that's it. This was my Merida glam and gore version. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye.